The massive council chamber floated in the void between stars, a crystalline structure that had witnessed 10,000 years of galactic governance. Inside, representatives from 57 species sat in their designated sections, each breathing their own atmospheric mix, each confident in the order they had built. Commander Rex stood at the center of the human delegation, his weathered face calm despite the weight of the moment. Behind him, Ambassador Maria clutched a data pad, her fingers steady even as her heart raced. They were the first humans to stand in this ancient hall, and every eye, compound, singular, or energy-based, watched them with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. The Council recognizes the species calling themselves humans from the planet Earth, announced High Chancellor Tor, his blue crystalline form pulsing with each word. You have achieved faster than light travel, and thus qualify for provisional membership. However, you must understand your place. Earth is a Category 3 world, primitive by our standards. Your technology is centuries behind even our newest members. Rex smiled slightly. Maria had warned him about this. The Council judged everything by their own metrics, never considering that evolution might take different paths. We thank the Council for this opportunity, Rex said, his voice carrying clearly through the universal translators. We come in peace and friendship. Lord Vex of the Dominion leaned forward. His forearms folded in what humans would learn was a gesture of superiority. Friendship? You barely have antimatter reactors. Your ships still use fusion cores. What could you possibly offer the galaxy? The chamber filled with what sounded like laughter from various species. Rex and Maria exchanged glances. They had prepared for this moment for months. Perhaps, Maria stepped forward. We could demonstrate something. Demonstrate? Chancellor Tor's tone dripped condescension. What could a Category 3 species possibly demonstrate to us? Rex pulled out a small device no bigger than his palm. The security systems immediately activated, energy shields snapping into place around the human delegation. Relax, Rex said calmly. It's not a weapon, may I? The Chancellor waved a tendril dismissively. Proceed with your demonstration, Rex pressed the device. Nothing visible happened, but suddenly every screen, every hologram, every data stream in the Council chamber flickered and displayed the same message. Hello from Earth. The chamber erupted in chaos. Species that hadn't shown emotion in centuries stood up in alarm. The Dominion representatives immediately tried to access their systems, their 6 fingers flying over control panels that no longer responded to them. How? Lord Vex demanded. Our systems are quantum encrypted, protected by algorithms that would take millions of years to break. That's the thing about humans, Maria said, allowing herself a small smile. We don't think like you do. You build walls. We find doors. You create shields. We learn to walk through them. Your quantum encryption is beautiful, truly, but you've been using the same base architecture for 3,000 years. Impossible! Chancellor Tor's form blazed brighter. You've been spacefaring for less than 50 years. 50 years since we achieved FTL, Rex corrected. But we've been breaking codes since we lived in caves. We've been finding patterns since we first looked at the stars. You judge advancement by the size of ships and the power of weapons. We measure it differently. He pressed the device again and the systems returned to normal. The silence in the chamber was deafening. We could have destroyed your entire network, Maria added quietly. We could have taken control of your defense grids, your life support, your navigation systems. But we didn't, because we really do come in peace. Lord Vex slowly sat back down. The human species will need to be reevaluated. There's more, Rex said. That ship you detected entering your space, the one you classified as a small scout vessel, it's carrying something that might interest you. The main screen activated, showing the human ship. It was small by galactic standards, almost embarrassingly so, but as they watched, it began to do something impossible. The space around it rippled, bent, and then the ship simply stepped sideways, appearing instantly on the other side of the system. Faster than light, Maria said into the stunned silence. We call it fold space technology. We developed it last year. Chancellor Tor's form flickered uncertainly. The Council will need to deliberate. Rex nodded respectfully. We'll wait. But understand something. We're not here as subjects or subordinates. We're here as equals. Earth has arrived and things are about to change. 3 days had passed since humanity's shocking demonstration. The Council had been in continuous session, something that hadn't happened in over a millennium. Commander Rex paced in the quarters assigned to the human delegation, while Ambassador Maria reviewed reports from Earth. "They're scared," said Lieutenant Tom, the youngest member of their team. "The mighty Galactic Council scared of little Earth." "Not scared," Maria corrected. "Confused. They built their entire hierarchy on technological advancement, measured in specific ways. We just showed them their measuring stick is broken." A chime announced a visitor. The door opened to reveal Lord Vex himself, alone and without his usual guard contingent. His 4 arms were held in what humans had learned was a gesture of cautious respect. "Commander Rex, Ambassador Maria," he began, his voice lacking its earlier arrogance. "The Council has decided. You will be tested." "Tested?" Rex raised an eyebrow. "I thought our demonstration was sufficient." "That demonstration is precisely why you must be tested," Vex replied. "If humanity possesses such capabilities after mere decades in space, the Council must understand your true nature. Are you conquerors wearing the mask of peace? Are you a threat to the stability we've maintained for 10 millennia? Maria stood up. "What kind of test?" "The maze of minds," Vex said, and even through the translator they could hear the gravity in his voice. "An ancient proving ground. No species has completed it in over 3,000 years. Most who enter never return." "And if we refuse?" Rex asked. "Then Earth will be quarantined. No trade, no contact, no place in the galactic community. You'll be alone among the stars." Tom snorted. "So much for their peaceful council." "Peace requires trust," Vex countered. "And trust must be earned. The maze will test not your technology, but your species' core nature. It adapts to each participant, revealing their true selves." Rex and Maria exchanged glances. They had prepared for many possibilities, but not this. "When?" Rex asked simply. "Tomorrow. 1 representative. The Council will watch and judge." After Vex left, the 3 humans sat in silence. Finally, Tom spoke up. "It's got to be you, Commander. You're the soldier, the survivor." "No," Maria said quietly. "It should be me. If this maze reveals true nature, they need to see a diplomat, not a warrior." Rex shook his head. "Neither." "Tom, you're going." "What?" "Sir, I'm just a lieutenant. I'm 25 years old." "Exactly," Rex smiled. "You're young, adaptable. You think differently than us old soldiers and diplomats. If this maze adapts to the participant, maybe what we need isn't experience, it's fresh eyes." The next day, the Council gathered in a viewing chamber overlooking a massive sphere of swirling energy. The maze of minds existed partially in regular space, partially in dimensions the human scientists were still trying to understand. Tom stood at the entrance, looking impossibly small. The Council members watched with expressions ranging from curiosity to pity. Many were already drafting Earth's quarantine orders. "The human will fail within minutes," Lord Zack of the Hegemony stated. "They are too young a species, too chaotic." Tom entered the maze, and immediately the viewing screens lit up with his progress. The first challenge materialized around him, a logic puzzle that had stumped brilliant minds for centuries. Complex geometric shapes floated in impossible configurations, requiring arrangement in patterns that followed no known mathematical law. The Council leaned forward, expecting confusion. Instead, Tom laughed. "It's a game," he said aloud, knowing they were watching. "It's just like the puzzle games my sister makes. The pattern isn't mathematical, it's musical." He began moving the shapes, humming an old Earth tune. The shapes responded, dancing to the rhythm, and suddenly snapped into place. The first door opened. Stunned silence filled the viewing chamber. The second challenge was different, a moral dilemma. Tom was shown 2 groups in danger, one larger but distant, one smaller but immediate. Save one meant losing the other. Previous participants had spent hours calculating the ethical ramifications. Tom didn't hesitate. He split his attention, using the maze's own energy to create a bridge, saving both groups but putting himself at risk. The maze paused as if confused, then opened the second door. "Impossible," Chancellor Tor whispered. "He's not following any established pattern of problem-solving." 6 hours later, Tom stood before the final challenge. The maze showed him Earth's future, 2 paths. In one, humanity joined the Council, accepted their place, and slowly advanced under alien guidance. Safe but forever second class. In the other, humanity stood alone, facing danger but free to chart their own course. "That's not a choice," Tom said simply. "That's a false dilemma. We make our own path." He walked forward, straight through the illusion, and emerged from the maze. The council sat in shocked silence as Tom rejoined his delegation. Grinning. So, Rex asked loudly, do we pass your test? The council chamber had never been so divided. Tom's successful completion of the Maze of Minds had shattered 10,000 years of precedent. Half the representatives demanded immediate full membership for Earth, while others called for additional restrictions on the clearly dangerous humans. Chancellor Tor struggled to maintain order. The human passed the test. By our own laws. Laws written when we believed the maze could judge a species' worth, Lord Vex interrupted. But this human didn't solve it, he broke it. He refused to accept its parameters. Maybe that's the point, Ambassador Maria said, standing up. The chamber fell silent. Humans weren't supposed to speak unless directly addressed, but after recent events, no one seemed eager to enforce that rule. For 10,000 years, she continued, you've used the same test, the same metrics, the same assumptions. You've built a peaceful galaxy, yes, but also a stagnant one. When did you last discover something truly new? When did you last push boundaries? We have achieved perfect stability, Lord Zack protested. No wars, no famines, no growth, Commander Rex finished. No innovation, no surprises. You've confused stability with death. Before the argument could escalate, alarms began blaring throughout the station. Every screen flashed red with warnings in 100 languages. What is this? Chancellor Tor demanded. Lord Vex checked his systems, his forearms moving frantically. Unknown vessels detected. Hundreds of them. Technology signature matches nothing in our databases. The main screen activated, showing ships unlike anything the Council had seen. They were organic-looking, pulsing with biomechanical energy, and they were heading straight for Council space. The Devourers, whispered Elder Kai, the oldest member of the Council. It cannot be. They were destroyed 50,000 years ago. Apparently not, Rex said, studying the tactical display. Maria, Tom, look at their formation. The three humans huddled briefly while panic spread through the chamber. Species that hadn't shown fear in millennia were calling their homeworlds, preparing evacuations. Chancellor, Rex called out, we need access to your historical databases. Everything about these Devourers. This is not the time. This is exactly the time, Maria insisted. You want to know what humans offer? We offer survival, but we need information. Chancellor Tor hesitated, then waved a tendril. Data streams opened to the human delegation. Tom worked his pad furiously. Got it. The Devourers were a hive-mind species that consumed entire star systems for resources. The old Galactic Alliance barely defeated them, and it cost them 90% of their fleet. And now they're back, Lord Vex said desperately. Our current defenses are ceremonial at best. We haven't faced real warfare in 10 millennia, but you have us, Rex said simply. Earth's entire history is warfare. We've perfected it, unfortunately. And we've spent the last 50 years preparing for exactly this, an overwhelming alien threat. You have 30 primitive ships, Lord Zack laughed bitterly. The Devourers have hundreds. 30 ships you know about, Maria corrected. Did you really think we'd reveal everything in our first meeting? Commander, I think it's time. Rex activated his communicator. Admiral Johnson, this is Rex. Execute Operation Welcome Party. Space around the Council station rippled. One by one, Earthships began dropping out of fold space. Not 30, not even hundreds. Thousands of vessels. Each one small by galactic standards, but bristling with weapons the Council's scanners couldn't identify. How? Chancellor Tor's form flickered in shock. We've been building for 50 years, Tom explained. Every nation, every resource united by one goal, being ready. We studied every piece of alien technology we could find, then improved it. We assumed the galaxy might be hostile, so we prepared for the worst. Your ships are still too small, Lord Vex protested. The Devourer's vessels are massive. Size isn't everything, Rex smiled grimly. Admiral Demonstration Pattern Alpha. One small Earthship accelerated toward a dead moon the Council used for waste disposal. The ship fired a single projectile no bigger than a ground vehicle. The projectile hit the moon and kept going, straight through it. The moon cracked, shuddered, and exploded. Relativistic kinetic weapons, Maria explained to the stunned Council. Accelerate any mass to near light speed and ERMC-2 does the rest. No shields can stop pure physics. The Devourer fleet had noticed the Earthships and was changing formation, their biomechanical hulls pulsing with aggressive energy. All Council members, Rex announced, taking command naturally. You have a choice. Fight with us and learn how we think, or watch from safety while we save your civilization. Either way, things are about to change. Admiral Johnson's voice crackled over the comm. Commander, the Devourers are charging weapons. Permission to engage? Rex looked at Chancellor Tor. Well, are we members of this council or not? Chancellor Tor's crystalline form pulsed rapidly, a sign of extreme distress. The Devourer fleet had formed an attack pattern unseen for 50 millennia, their biomechanical ships spreading out like a cosmic infection. Earth is granted emergency membership, Tor announced, his voice cutting through the panic. Commander Rex, the Council's remaining defense fleet is yours to command. Respectfully, Chancellor, keep your ships back, Rex replied, studying the tactical display. They'll only get in our way. Admiral Johnson, begin Operation Swarm. The Earth fleet moved like nothing the Council had ever witnessed. Instead of the traditional formations they expected, neat lines and defensive spheres, the human ships scattered seemingly at random, each moving independently. They're breaking formation. Lord Zack cried. The humans are fleeing! Watch and learn, Maria said calmly. The Devourers fired first, massive bioenergy beams that could melt through traditional shields like paper. But the Earth ships weren't where the beams struck. They moved constantly, randomly, impossibly fast for vessels without enhanced drives. Pattern recognition, Tom explained, his fingers dancing over his pad. We fed our ship's AIs every space battle in your historical records. The Devourers fight in patterns just like everyone else. Our ships are predicting where they'll fire before they do. The first Earth counterattack was devastating. 100 small ships suddenly converged, firing relativistic rounds in perfect synchronization. A Devourer vessel the size of a small moon cracked open, its biomechanical screams echoing across all communication channels. But the Devourers adapted quickly. Their ships began splitting, becoming smaller, more numerous, trying to overwhelm the human fleet with sheer numbers. Admiral, Rex commanded, execute virus protocol. Virus? Lord Vex stepped forward. Biological weapons are forbidden by... Not biological, Tom grinned. Watch this. Several Earth ships launched what looked like escape pods toward the splitting Devourer vessels. The pods attached to the biomechanical hulls and immediately began broadcasting something. The Devourer ships stopped splitting. Then they turned on each other. Their hive mind operates on quantum entanglement, Maria explained. We're not destroying it, we're adding noise. Fake signals, false commands. Their own thoughts are becoming their enemy. The battle raged for 6 hours. For every trick the Devourers attempted, humanity had an answer. When they tried to ram Earth ships, the humans used fold space technology to appear behind them. When they released clouds of biospores, Earth ships deployed nanobots that consumed them. When they attempted to retreat and regroup, human vessels were already waiting at their fallback positions. This is impossible, Elder Kai murmured. A species barely capable of FTL travel is defeating an enemy that nearly destroyed the Ancient Alliance. That Ancient Alliance fought with honor and rules, Rex said grimly. Humans learned long ago that survival doesn't care about honor. We fight to win. The Devourer fleet was down to a quarter of its original size when something unexpected happened. The remaining ships began transmitting. Not weapons fire, but communication signals. They're trying to talk? Tom looked shocked. The historical record said they never communicated. Only consumed. Put them through, Rex ordered. The main screen flickered, revealing a writhing mass of biomechanical tissue that somehow formed patterns resembling a face. Humans, it spoke, the word distorted, but understandable. We yield. We're wrong. You are not prey. The council chamber erupted in shocked voices. The Devourers had never communicated before, never shown mercy or asked for it. Why should we accept your surrender? Rex asked coldly. You came here to consume entire civilizations. We hunger, always hunger. But you fight like us. Think like us. Survive like us. We recognize kinship, Maria stepped forward. Commander, if they're truly surrendering, they could be lying, Lord Vex warned. Preparing another attack. Rex studied the screen for a long moment. Admiral Johnson, maintain weapons lock but hold fire. Devourers, you have one chance. Integrate with the galaxy peacefully or be destroyed. Choose now. We choose survival. Teach us your way, the way of controlled hunger. Chancellor Tor's form shifted colors rapidly, the equivalent of complete bewilderment. Commander Rex, you cannot seriously be considering. The Council just learned that humanity could destroy them whenever we chose. Rex interrupted. The Devourers learned we could destroy them in actual combat. Perhaps it's time for a new approach. Not just peace through separation, but peace through understanding. The human speaks wisdom, Elder Kai said slowly. In one day they've shown more adaptability than we have in 10 millennia. Perhaps it's time we all learn to think differently. The weapons powered down. The battle was over. But the real change to the galaxy was just beginning. 6 months had passed since the Devourer crisis. The Council station had been transformed. Where once sterile halls echoed with formal procedures, now bustling corridors rang with dozens of languages and the sound of actual laughter. Ambassador, Maria stood in the newly constructed Integration Center, watching human engineers work alongside Devourer biotechnicians and Council scientists. The sight would have been impossible just a year ago. The protein synthesis is working, Tom reported, jogging up with a data pad. The Devourers can survive on artificial compounds now. No more need to consume entire ecosystems. And in exchange, their biotechnology is revolutionizing our medical field. Maria smiled. Who would have thought humanity's first year in space politics would go like this? Commander Rex approached with Chancellor Tor floating beside him. The Chancellor's form had taken on new colors lately, patterns that appeared almost cheerful. The third colony ship from Earth arrives tomorrow, Tor announced. But Commander, some Council members still have concerns about human expansion rates. They're worried we're spreading too fast? Rex asked, amused. After 10,000 years of no new colonies, suddenly 3 in 6 months is concerning. It's not just the colonies, Lord Vex said, joining them. His forearms were held in what humans had taught him was a handshake position, though the actual handshake looked rather complicated. It's everything. Human music is spreading through the galaxy. Your movies have become more popular than our traditional entertainments. Yesterday I caught my offspring trying to learn something called skateboarding. Tom laughed. Cultural victory, Commander. We might not have the biggest ships, but we've got the best entertainment. It's more than that, Elder Kai interjected, approaching slowly. Your species has awakened something in all of us. For the first time in millennia, the young of many species are questioning, exploring, dreaming of something more than their assigned roles. Is that such a bad thing? Maria asked. No, Kai admitted. But change is frightening for those who've known only stability. A communication alert interrupted them. Admiral Johnson's face appeared on the nearest screen, but instead of his usual military bearing, he was grinning. Rex, Maria, you need to see this. We've got first contact. First contact? Tor's form flickered in confusion. But humans already made first contact with us. Not us making contact, Johnson clarified. Someone's reaching out to us. A species from beyond the galactic edge. They've been watching, and they want to meet specifically with humans. The screen shifted to show a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting between patterns that somehow conveyed deep intelligence. Greetings, humans of Earth. It spoke directly into their minds. We are the transcended. We left physical form 1,000,000 years ago and have watched the galaxy since. Your arrival has been unexpected. Unexpected how? Rex asked carefully. Most species evolve toward order, predictability, eventual stagnation. You evolve toward chaos, creativity, constant change. You solved the maze by rejecting it. You defeated the Devourers by thinking like them. You've brought growth to a galaxy that had forgotten how to grow. So what do you want from us? Maria inquired. To offer you a choice. Join us in transcendence. Leave your physical forms behind and become pure consciousness. Or, Tom prompted eagerly. Or remain as you are and continue what you've started. Teach the galaxy not just to survive, but to truly live. To laugh, to love, to fail, and try again. To be human. Rex looked at his team, then at the assembled alien representatives. The choice was obvious. With respect to your offer, Rex said, we'll stay as we are. We've got work to do here. The Transcended's form pulsed with what felt like approval. We thought you would say that very well. Know that you have allies beyond the veil should you ever truly need them. And humans. Yes? Thank you for reminding us what we lost when we transcended. Perhaps one day we too will learn to be human again. The communication ended, leaving the assembled group in contemplative silence. Finally, Chancellor Tor spoke. The Council will need to be restructured. New laws, new approaches, new possibilities. Commander Rex, Ambassador Maria, would Earth be willing to help lead this transformation? Maria smiled. That's what humans do, Chancellor. We adapt, we change, and we bring others along for the ride. Then let's get to work, Rex said, looking out at the stars. The galaxy just got a lot more interesting. Tom pulled up his pad, already working on plans. So, who wants to learn about something humans call democracy? The groans from the council members were drowned out by laughter, a sound that would become increasingly common in the halls of galactic power. Earth had arrived, and indeed, everything had changed. Not through conquest or dominance, but through the most human quality of all, the simple refusal to accept that things had to stay the same. The galaxy would never be the same again, and that, everyone was beginning to realize, was exactly what it needed. The end.